So I'm back here to just give a few demonstrations of some insight, just to kind of show how I go about my betting and how I do everything. And first of all, let me just say, it's not guaranteed. Even though my percentages of winning are very higher when I stick to this method, when I stick to these methods. And I'm gonna just give some strategic ways of how I do everything or how I've done everything thus far. If you have a gambling addiction, please get it fixed. You could dial 1-800-333-HOPE, 1-800-333-HOPE. That's first off. Second of all, like I said, this is not guaranteed, although these are some of the things that I like to do when I'm choosing bets and going through everything. All right, so first of all, I would say when making bets, I do not keep my eggs in one basket, which means I'm not always gonna bet in the same category. So I probably choose one out of this category and then probably switch to the next one. Or switch to something different, MLB or NFL or WNBA, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll choose one. I'll choose one from this category and then I'll go to a different category and choose another one. Let's just say you did more, and then more, and they're playing Mitch. You know what I'm saying? OKLA versus Mitch. They're playing each other. So the odds of both of these being more are probably slim, because they're playing each other. So I sometimes I don't really like to do that. I don't really like to make bets when players are playing versus each other. That's another way to lose money. Another thing is, okay, so these are always good. Obviously, if you see these right here, these discounters, obviously, he's going to get a point 0.5 pass yard. So if you ever get any of these discounts, I would go for them immediately. I like to choose bets like this with a consistent person that I pick all the time. Like, if I pick this, I'm going for somebody that I know that I picked all the time, that I won a lot on. I'm going to put it with this discount. And that way, I feel like it's easy money. Also, as I scroll here, if you can notice how many red demons you see. If you got more red demons, I feel like, than green. Like sometimes they'll overcrowd a green. I wish I could see an example of it. It's a lot of red demons out here. It's a lot of red demons out here. So it's probably a day for one of those guys to hit for sure. So I also like to look at the stats. Okay, 3.5 break point. She's been over for the last 4 games. She's been over for the last 4 games. Okay, so before I make this bet, if I was to make this bet, I would go back and I will also see how many people are making a bet on it. 3.3, you know what I'm saying? So that's potentially 3,000 people who are probably going to pick more because of this right here. You know what I mean? Which will probably make her lose at the end of the day. So that's not a safe bet to take. I wouldn't take this because you got 3,000 people about to bet on her to choose more because of this right here. That's a way to get you. Oh, she's all green. Everything is green. But see, not as many people is betting. So this is a safe bet. I would go for, and then her average is 580. All she needs to do is get 2.5, and each one of these have been high. It's hell, way over 2.5. So this would probably be a safe bet to make. I would go green for her. I would pick a more for her. If you are gonna choose bets, look at different categories. Like you got her points and you got her rebounds. Sometimes it's not in the points category where she'll hit. Maybe it's the rebound she'll hit. And then who they're going versus, like Phoenix versus Connecticut. So in that case, you will want to probably know who are their forwards, who are the other team's forwards, and who are the other team's centers, to know their average of rebounds and if she's going to overboard them. Let's go back to 9. Now she tied here and she's less here and she's green and then green. My guess, and then she got 2.3 on this bet right here. So not as many people. It's more people on the points. They're really going for her to be more points at 11. I'm for sure of it. Almost 3,000 people, and there's no way to change the bet. So you can only choose more points of this. This is not a safe bet. It may look like a safe bet, but it's not a safe bet. She's been so close to 11 and a half too, like 12, 15, 14, 12. The only one was 23, and I'm pretty sure she ain't doing that again tonight. Okay, let's look at some popular ones. Let's go to some popular ones and see. Look, like 8,000. 8,000 on this bet. And they probably all going less. Look at this. 8,000 people are probably all going less. Even, let's say half and half. Let's say half. Let's say half the people are probably going less because it's 8,000 people in her last 4 games have been less. So just by going more on this, you putting yourself in a higher stance of winning because you have to think about what other people are betting too. Like this is a game where it's meant for you to lose. You're not meant to win these games. So you have to think outside of the box. Now this bet will make you looking at it like this bet will make you think like, oh, okay, I'm gonna pick her less. She's gonna be less tonight because she's been less before, but not entirely true. She been peaking here. She was peaking. She was peaking at that 32. And then the Las Vegas Aces, with Asia Wilson, you should have knew. Like, there's no way in the world she about to go nuts like that. But the Golden State Valkyries, I think she's gonna come in and I think she's gonna green it. So, if I was to be making a bet on Nafisa Collier today, it would be definitely more on this bet. Let's see. Let's check out Kayla McBride on the assist. Now these are hard to decipher because she was one in the middle. You could think it'd be two green, red, two green, and then another red. Like that's a pattern. Sometimes it's a pattern. It'll be like two greens, one red, two greens, one red. Then we gotta look at her projection, which is 3.5, so 4. She's only bombed one less than that right here. She's only bombed one less than that, and that's 2. She's been pretty high on all of these. So in a bet like this, I wouldn't even choose her at all. I wouldn't even make a bet with her on this type of bet because this is unsafe. Um, it's very unpredictable, and it's fucking 7,000 people betting on this bet, probably for more. But you also got to think like if the Golden State Valkyries are not a good team, they won't need as much firepower from a star player like Kayla McBride. You know what I mean? She's a star player, and so is Nafisa, and they plan to go to State Valkyrie. So you should go check out their team and their roster, and check out their stats, and then you'll kind of know if it's even worth like making a bet on her or making a bet on her because like they're star players and they may not even need all that type of firepower like that. All right. Now I do like to do heavy on the pitch out, the pitcher strikeouts. Things like this, 2.5 pitches. I mean, it seems reasonable, even though he got these right here. Who is he playing? They're playing versus the Chicago Cubs. Now you should go check out their stats. Look at their pitcher strikeouts. His top is 6. And yeah, like I said, he's all green. And another thing too is you have to think about their average number. You know what I mean? The more strikeouts he get, the more the higher this number will become. So if he do it again, if he do like 3 4 strikeouts, this number next time will probably be 3. You know what I mean? Like each time they break a milestone, their number obviously is gonna heighten or lower depending on what they do. So that's why I love to bet on people who like were injured and then they come back because their numbers are low. And in order to get like their average number back up, they have to start winning. They have to start making points and doing stuff. So like if he was injured for like 4 or 5 games or whatever, and then he came back and his pitcher strikeout would be like 2.5, then he's gonna have to consistently keep getting high pitches in order for this number to go up. You know what I mean? So that's why players that sat down, like if Caitlin Clark wasn't out for the season and she came back, her points will probably be like 11.5 or 10.5. You know what I mean? Because she hasn't played, so she has to build those numbers back up in order to get to be like at 21 points per game, 22 points per game. And those are more difficult to do than 11.5 games. You know what I mean? So I would look for that type of stuff too. I don't like to do side bets like I call these side bets because like it's not for the actual game. It's probably for like quarters or innings. Like WNBA sometimes like when you're playing a game or whatever and then you're at the end of the second quarter, another bubble will pop up and then it'll say second half. You could bet on what you think their second half would be. Those are those are not I win a few on those. I'll go for like a bet like that if I feel like my main bet is not gonna hit, and I can kind of see how they're playing for the game. You know what I mean? So yeah. So basically, I'm gonna go over these rules again, and then I'll end the stream. So number one is to, like I say, not leave all your eggs in one basket. Make sure if you bet on different categories of sports. So don't do two NFL and then like do one NFL and one WNBA, something like that. Like switch it over. Two, it's best to only do for me, I find myself winning better when I only bet two people. I don't go over two people. I don't like to do like the 3, the 4, the 5, 6 man bets. It makes it harder. I rather just take two players and then bet something high, like $100. I'll bet like $100 on two players. Depending on the multiplier, you can get 354. You know, those are easier bets to me than to spend $5 on like a 6 man bet to where if you only lose one of them, you don't even get your money back. So you have to think of ways to, if you're in it, you're just gonna be in it to lose it. You know what I mean? You're either coming to win or you're coming to lose. It's either or. I'm not gonna bet $10 on a 6 man bet just for one person to lose the bet and then I lose most of all of the money. It was pointless to even make the bet. So just making one bet of two people is the best is my formula in different categories while checking the stats and who they're playing against and checking how many people are on the bet. 8,000 people looking at the stats of it being less her last 4 games, which means it's probably going to be more because you got 8,000 people probably betting on less because it's all red at the 4. So I'm going to go high for this bet. I'm going to go high for this bet. Like I say, bets are not always what they seem. This is why I stay consistently winning. Oh, that's another thing too. When you making bets, you want to have money inside of inside of here. I would never be making bets on an empty stomach. You know what I mean? Like just think about it. If you eat food on an empty stomach, you're just gonna like consume it so much to where you can't take it. So always have a belly, always have something in your stomach before you put a little snack on there. You know what I mean? Is if I could speak metaphorically. That will conclude my insight on prize picks betting. Uh, Make sure you look at the stats. Make sure you know who you're playing against. Make sure you check how many people are making the bet. Now these are scary bets right here. We know Courtney Williams is a fucking monster, bro. Courtney Williams is a monster, but it scares me when I see something very uh durable. Like this is durable for her. We know this is durable. She has a Green Goblin, only 9.5 points. She can do that in her sleep, and 5,000 people has fucking made the bet. So I will stay away from this bet too. She may hit it, but just to be safe, I will stay away from it because it's too durable for me, and too many people has made this bet. So just by picking more, you're adding yourself to this of potential people who will probably lose this bet if they did more on this. They may even sit her out or sub her for what's old Heiderman, because Heiderman been snapping lately. So that's another thing why I say you gotta know your stats. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know your quota. But this, like I said, this concludes. I've been speaking about 25 minutes on this, and hopefully this will help you guys understand how to do some betting. And good luck to you. Like I said, if you have a gambling problem, dial the number 1-800-333-HOPE. And all of my stats and homework I've done is not guaranteed, but like I said, it helps me get better results on my betting. So this is Young Crow, and I'm checking out. Thank you guys.